Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank the previous speaker, the Speaker of the House, for her remarks, reminding us all that it is California where Michael Bloomberg and the gun control advocates have established their utopia of a land without guns. And what has it led us to? With some of the strictest gun control laws in the land, we have some of the worst incidents of gun violence in the country. Gun control measures do not address the problems of gun violence, and this bill will not address gun violence. I rise in strong opposition to H.R. 8. The legislation is an attempt to take away our Second Amendment rights, hidden under the guise that we will see a reduction in violent crime. My colleagues on the other side of the aisle claim the bill will save lives, but nothing in this bill would have stopped any of the recent mass casualty shootings that have occurred in our country. The only thing this bill does is limit the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens. They'll tell you that this bill closes loopholes. However, the loophole that they believe exists is private gun ownership, and what they really want is to regulate the private transfers of firearms. If my neighbor's in trouble and needs to borrow a firearm to protect his family, I should be allowed to loan that firearm to my neighbor so that he can protect himself and his family. This is not something we should need to go to the federal government to get permission to do. The Second Amendment does not say that after you get permission from the government, your right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Our founding fathers wrote the Constitution to protect us from the government and gave individuals the Second Amendment to protect themselves. I carried this Constitution every day on the campaign trail last fall. I carry it with me every day now to remind myself of those protections that were given to us not by government, but by God. This bill is nothing more than an attempt to advance the agenda of radical gun grabbers and lay the foundation for a national gun registration scheme. I urge the House to reject this misguided legislation so we can begin having real discussions about ways to reduce crime across this great nation. With that, I yield back the balance of my time.